Hello and welcome here to welcome to something very very special. Welcome to the now, where we're just learning how it is basically to be who we are, to be alive, what that really means. And it starts really with our thoughts and the connection between our thoughts and our feelings, our emotions, which really are energy in motion. And how to put that energy into motion and out of this really create our own reality. It is something very powerful to consider, that we all actualize what we realize. Out of our thoughts we create our world. So just think about that for a minute. And think about the world that we live in, that world that we came into as we were born into this world, as we came into this world, spiritual beings. And then we learned about the ways of the world. We learned about what is required of us and how we need to be in this world. And how learning, or rather teaching, is a matter of, there's a teacher in school and students listen passively to memorize some kind of fact or information, and in order to then graduate and in order to one day get a job to make money with that. And think about then also this system. And everything there has become a system. Now this is educational system, outcome-based education. It's all about preparing children for the reality, quote-unquote reality in this world of the work reality, to get a job one day. And so that's part of the system, education. And of course everything that runs everything is the economy. And then there's also politics and religion, and there's also the entertainment industry. And in these industries we have become producers and we consume, where everything is a market, and where we ourselves have become a product in this market. I mean, the nature that we have evolved is a result of our conditioning and how we are, how we think, how I am right now. If you're really able to look at yourself, to see yourself clearly and objectively right here, right now, wherever you are, that's who you have become. Through your experiences, what you went through and how you have dealt with that, what you have learned from that really. And that's really where it all starts, what we have learned, and how we have learned, and how we then have become. The nature we have evolved, so to speak, we have developed. And we all have developed a nature in this world. We all have a nature. But then there's also the real nature, the natural nature, the original nature from which we come into this world, Mother Earth. We manipulate our environment. We manipulate each other. And we have been manipulated. We have been conditioned. But now that we know this, we can remember. That's really the whole point. And we can remember it not by fighting the old. We cannot win the war on this level, because we have created that. We have created our oppressors. We have created a system in which war is business, which then really just take resources, and also like the reason for why there is fracking, and chemtrails and things like that. And the whole system, that is really has oppressed mankind actually ever since the beginning of time. It has controlled the masses, and the masses have been revolting against that. All these revolutions have really changed nothing much. And so I really feel it's about the evolution, which is a matter of the waking up, and the realizing who I really am. What is my real nature? To really understand who I am, to know myself. And it's really this kind of knowledge that will set us free. And that is true power. And that's the inner power, and that's also the empowerment. I've come to find after studying about personal development in the mid-90s, which is me being from Germany, and now I'm back here in Germany, the house I grew up in, like I always say, quote unquote. I never really wanted to grow up, but that's another story. How I was very rebellious as a child myself. Like I was going against my teachers, and I was rebelling terribly in school, and therefore I didn't really learn. I didn't want to learn. Yeah, that's the thing, I did not want to. Because I realized very early also in my life, because as children, life is about what we want to do. We want to be free. We do what we want to naturally. And we're very authentic. Children are very authentic. But then we learn that life is about what we have to do, what is prescribed for us. And so this is something very significant changes, something very dramatic, also traumatic. You know, as our inner voice really becomes silenced because we are told not to speak. We are told to listen. As soon as we are old enough we start to speak, we are then told to be silent. It's really ironic if you think about that. Very crazy. Very against our nature, very much against our nature. And so there's no surprise really. You know, if we look in this world, if you look at the reality of this world, if you can also look into your own world, into your own life, look at yourself. And I really hope to be able to become that mirror through which you can see yourself more clearly, through which you can really begin to understand really, well, yourself better, understand the true meaning of life, the reality, the nature of reality, what is real. It's not what we want to see and what our expectations and our judgments of what it is we see, but just the ability to see that will set us free. When our eyes are open and there we see, well, reality, we see ourselves clearly, and we also then realize that we ourselves create our own reality. And we begin to, work on that, to consciously create our own reality. Create ourselves to be the way we want to be. Based upon the awareness of who we really are. Because only we can be ourselves. And it's really that. And that's where the journey leads. The journey to the promised land leads within. And that's to that true knowledge of self. That's also where we find God. It's where we know we're all children of God. We all have been conditioned. And we all play our part. So just to understand that, and see then, okay, that's the movie of life that we're part of. History, if you look at history, his story, it's a story. But it's a story that we relive again and again and again, just like in our own lives, with our own issues and problems and things which are difficult for us and things we're working on, but we are not really working on it, you know, because they have been going on for a while and we don't know what to do about it. It's like that. Nothing changes unless we ourselves change. When we change, everything else changes. And that's the most difficult thing, really, when we talk about self-development, the idea of really working on yourself. And that's really the actualized part, to work on yourself, the practice. But the realized part is then about the learning. First, this kind of learning, the really becoming aware of ourselves and the true nature of life. We learn to just be more at ease, be more at peace, be more at one.